Good Thursday morning, Roger Hill with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. Big picture, we can see a weak weather system that's pushing in off the Great Lakes. This is basically on a weaken as it moves in later today and into this evening. It'll probably supply a light coating of snow, maybe up to an inch in some spots, mainly in the central and northern Green Mountains, primarily, as the storm kind of works on through and weakens, picking up just a little bit of moisture off the Great Lakes. Once that moves on by, we're looking at a much more important system that is going to be pushing in with this trough of lower pressure. This is going to dig down into the southern parts of the U.S., the mid part of the U.S., mid-Mississippi Valley, spin up an area of low pressure that would then track up into the Great Lakes off to our west. It'll pull in moisture, but it's not going to pull in as much moisture as our last go-around. That's the good news. So in terms of wet snow loading out ahead of the next system arriving for Friday night and Saturday, at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be under thresholds. However, it will pull in a low-level jet that will interact with the mountains of the Green Mountains and cause downsloping winds. There could also be downsloping winds along the White Mountains, carrying over a little bit into the Northeast Kingdom. The main focus, however, is the western slopes of the Green Mountains, and National Weather Service has issued a high wind watch there. With a lot of jet stream energy involved, you can already see that some of the gusts here across the parts of Southern California associated with this trough of lower pressure and jet stream energy is bound to spin up a pretty deep area of low pressure. So here we go again for Friday night and Saturday. This is our current system that's going to be in the process of spinning up a pretty strong area of low pressure, a lot of jet stream energy getting together. And this is going to be pushing in, this is valid Friday morning, and continuing that track of 976 hectopascal low pressure center at surface, 975 into the lower Great Lakes. This is a very strong pressure gradient. You have the European here and the GFS ensemble here. You can see they both match up pretty well. And we're going to see a little bit of light accumulating snow at the start. This is going to move in mostly during the overnight period on Friday night into Saturday morning. That pressure gradient wraps on through. This is the low-level jet that's going to push on through. And then once again, precipitation is going to change over to a mix during the morning hours on Saturday, and eventually all rain or just rain showers. And then eventually we do dry slot with maybe even some partial sunshine breaking out later in the day Saturday. The storm will be over by that point in time, and then we're looking at a regime change. You can see that much colder air is kind of working in from Alberta, spreading down into the plains. We're going to see some very cold Arctic conditions, and all of these colder temperatures will make it to the East Coast, but it's going to change up the weather pattern so we don't see these El Nino subtropical jet-induced weather systems that are spinning up these areas of low pressure off to the west. Finally, these are going to be suppressed off to the south a little bit more, with our next customer potentially becoming a system that could develop a nor'easter and then push on through. So beyond going into next week, this is what it looks like. We have mostly lake effect snow showers and flurries, not very much. Very weak weather systems, but the flow will be interacting with the Green Mountains for a little bit of accumulating snow. This is our next system for Tuesday night into Wednesday, and you can see that it's mostly to our south. The GFS is indicating that it might be a little bit further to the north. Right now, it looks like it might be suppressed and just missing parts of Vermont, but catching portions of southern New England. GFS ensemble centered on Montpelier. You can see that it's one main attack here, and this is going to be our storm system for Friday night into Saturday. We have a little minor system that works in again off the Great Lakes. This is what's going to arrive later in the day on Thursday, a little bit into Thursday night, mostly into the evening hours. Things dry out, and we have a good project weather day on Friday, and then this system. Looks like down the road a piece, we'll have to watch that next system. The GFS ensemble is indicating that there could be that nor'easter that does spread as far north as Vermont. Not all the models are in agreement at this point in time. Looking at the total QPF, looks like this, and this system is not going to be as juiced up as the last go-around, so we're talking probably under 0.6 of an inch. And of course, here's the next system, but that remains to be seen. Precipitation type looks like this, and again, we're looking at basically wet snow starting. This is our little flurries and light snow showers, then we dry out. Then we get into that wet snow, and then it changes over to rain, as a precipitation type, and then back over to snow as colder air will work in for next week. Looking at the winds, we'll start out with 850 hectopascal winds, about roughly the top of Mount Mansfield. We see some gusts that will reach easily to around 70 miles per hour, or 70 knots in this case, and then those winds do fall off. It's one main spike for winds, and of course that's that low-level jet. This will mainly be affecting, of course, just lesser amounts of snow, and it's really going to be the windstorm for utility impacts, and expect future heads up starting this afternoon and continuing as we approach the event for Friday night into Saturday morning. For this outlook period, here's the total QPF, or accumulated precipitation, for the next 7 days out. And we can see that we're roughly about 1 inch to about 1.5 inches. This is actually indicated to be a little bit below normal by the European model to maybe near normal or a little bit above normal in some areas around southern parts of New England. Looking at the 2-meter temperatures, we can see the temperature anomalies on the East Coast. Much colder air has advanced coming in from the north part of Alaska, the North Slope, and this is going to be taking a track, and it looks like it filters down into parts of the deep south and parts of Texas, and eventually this is going to bleed off and head our way as it modifies considerably, but some near record cold is expected here, especially east of the Rocky Mountains. Meteorological output statistics show these temperatures, in fact, anomalous temperatures here, 30 degrees Fahrenheit below normal. That is very, very significant. And about 3 days later, we're looking at finally those temperatures of below normal reaching into the state of Vermont. It looks like neutral or above normal off to the east. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.